Hey everybody, welcome to the Weekly Fury right here on the Sports Fury. I'm Josh.
I'm Sean.
And Sean, we have a lot of juicy topics this week. And of course, we're going to start off with Super Bowl 51. Now, if you haven't caught our Super Bowl review video yet, go check that out. It's our full review of the entire game, in depth, and we're just gonna make we're gonna talk about a little bit more about it because it was, it's the biggest game of the year, right?
Phenomenal game.
Now, one of the things that we didn't talk too much in that video was the breakdown of the second half and how I thought that was some of the worst play calling by the Falcons I've ever seen. Are you in agreement with that?
I'm not going to argue one bit. It was horrible, especially in the fourth quarter.
How the fuck did Devontae Freeman have 72 yards in the first half and end the game with 76 fucking yards?
Yeah.
How many? He only got 10, 11 carries in the second half? What were they thinking?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We raved about Kyle Shanahan being the best play caller the whole season. He even won Assistant Coach of the Year, but yet he didn't look like it.
I don't know.
I don't know what was going through their minds, man. For example, in the fourth quarter when they were in that field goal range and they took that sack, all they had to do was run the ball. Why would you pass in that situation? Why?
Yeah, that's right after the Julio miracle catch, right? That should have been the catch of the game.
Why do you not run?
Yeah.
It's stupid. You need to keep the clock running, so you run the ball.
So let me ask you this: do you think the Falcons lost the Super Bowl, or do you think the Patriots won the Super Bowl? Which one is it more of? Because I don't think that the Patriots all by themselves won the Super Bowl. The Falcons gave them a lot of help to me.
It's a little bit of both, but I
obviously because of that comeback.
Exactly. I still have to give more credit to the Patriots, even though I fucking hate to say that. God, I fucking hate it. But I have to because they still came back from 25 points. I can't ignore that fact. It's not easy to score that many points unanswered. I think they put up 19 points in the fourth quarter. That's and forced
crazy.
Overtime.
That was just terrible.
I cannot not give them credit for that. So I have to still give it to the Patriots.
Now, a lot of people have been talking about the MVP, right? Now, Tom Brady wins it, but some people think that James White should have won because he put up some stellar stats. Yeah. Do you think those people have a right to say that, or do you think they're just completely fucking dead wrong?
There's always going to be, this guy could have won or whatever, but no, you can't pick against Tom Brady. Look at his stats. You're talking about stats. Look at his stats. He put up record numbers for passing yards in a Super Bowl. Over 460-something yards, I think. I can't remember exact, but that's ridiculous. You can't ignore that. If you're looking at James White's stats, he had great stats. But if you look, his stats were receiving. Yep. Who was throwing him the ball?
Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the MVP. The Falcons, Dan Quinn, Kyle Shanahan, absolutely. As great as they were this whole season, they completely derailed in the second half. They shot themselves in the foot. This is going to hurt them for a very, very long time. But, this team, they got a lot to look forward to.
They're very young.
I think it's one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. Maybe one day we'll debate that, if it actually was the greatest Super Bowl of all time. But, man.
It's going to be hard to top it. It's going to be hard to top that. The first overtime in Super Bowl history, it was a crazy sequence all around. Yeah. Great game. So, even though I don't like the outcome, still a great game. I can't argue that.
Exactly. Speaking of Kyle Shanahan, of course, officially accepts the job of the 49ers head coaching position. And as he takes that job, Steve Sarkisian, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, the Alabama offensive coordinator, he goes to Atlanta and he takes over Kyle Shanahan's offensive coordinating position. Yeah. All right, so I want to... Now, what do you think of Steve Sarkisian? That's a Star Wars name right there. Which one of those two guys do you think will fare better? Because Kyle Shanahan, he's got a lot on his plate with the 49ers job. And, Sarkisian.
That's a good question.
He's going to Atlanta with all those weapons, and a defense that will definitely help out the offense next year.
Yeah.
He's going to have more success in the next 5 years.
This is tough. This one's really tough because it's going to be interesting to see with Steve Sarkisian.
I swear that's the
I swear, I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see when he comes in, what is he going to do? Is he going to want to make a whole change, the whole playbook?
Yeah.
Because Matt Ryan, that whole offense was the best offense. So you coming in, are you wanting to change everything? Because think about it, Kyle Shanahan's, his verbiage, they already said it was really complicated, but it works once you figure it out. So when he comes in, of course, Sarkisian has a lot of weapons. Julio, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Matt Ryan, obviously MVP, and Hooper, that young tight end. They have a lot of weapons, and they have a great offense. It's going to be interesting to see if he makes any changes. Now, Kyle Shanahan, I think is going to be a great head coach. He's a great guy, great play caller. I think he's going to be running the offense completely. I think they said they're not hiring an offensive coordinator at all.
I don't doubt it.
So, but he's got a lot more work to do. So right now, Sarkisian's probably going to be better, obviously.
So right out the gate, Sarkisian's going to be, have the
more
most
weapons,
immediate
better.
Success.
Yeah, but Kyle Shannon's going to take a while. He's going to have to get a bridge quarterback to get him over that little period because I don't think Colin Kaepernick's going to be good. Obviously he's got to rebuild that defense, that offense completely. So it's going to be interesting. But I think Kyle Shanahan will bring that 49ers back, but it's going to take a few years, I think. That's why he asked for a 6-year contract.
Well, I know Nick Saban's not happy about Sarkisian leaving because, he was a damn good offensive coordinator for them, and then giving him Julio Jones and Justin Gabriel and Devontae Freeman and Coleman and that offensive line. Yeah. That's just, he's just sitting there like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to get to work. And who knows? Maybe he might do a masterful job in this next year that he might be a head coach going into 2019. Who knows? So,
it's a bold statement there, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it done before. I know Chip Kelly was, his name was being thrown out there for the Atlanta offensive coordinator job, and I was like, no. Do not touch Chip Kelly, and I think this is a great hire by Atlanta, hiring them, and so I'd say in the next 2 years, Sarkisian. 5 years from now,
Shanahan.
I'm gonna go Kyle Shanahan. I don't know.
You got to.
Kyle Shanahan. All right, but one of them definitely has an easier job than the other. So,
definitely.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yep.
Now, somebody that might be going to the San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, maybe, who knows, Jimmy Garoppolo. Where does he end up next year? Does he stay with New England, or does he get traded away to one of the teams that need a quarterback? And some of those teams are the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, Chicago Bears, my Bears, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, maybe the Cardinals. Maybe they might need a future quarterback with Carson Palmer. This might be his last year. So these are teams that need a quarterback. Do you see him ending up there, anywhere there, or staying with New England?
This is actually a good situation for both sides. And what I mean by that is I think the Patriots will trade him away because Belichick loves getting draft picks, right? And then, not just that, this is great because he's still, I think, got another year left in his contract. He's not a free agent or anything like that. So you could trade for him. You don't have to pay him big money like Brock Osweiler. We all see how that ended. So you could trade for him, see if he really fits your offense, see if he really does have that potential, and you're not stuck in a huge contract like Houston is. Now, so I think it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. It's going to be whoever gives Bill Belichick the best options, right, the draft pick-wise. Now, another team that you didn't mention that I think is probably willing to trade for him would be Houston. I think Houston wants to probably maybe.
I have them written down. But that contract they have with Osweiler.
Jimmy Garoppolo isn't like a big contract they're taking on, so why not add a little
still
quarterback competition?
But what about the end of next season? So they have Garoppolo, and they're like, okay, this guy is great, and we want to sign him, but we're still tied to Osweiler. That's a whole lot of money, and that's something that you just can't get rid of, whether you cut him or you trade him.
They cut him or trade him.
So that's why I didn't put Texans down. Now, I'm not so sure that the Patriots are so willing to let go of Garoppolo. Because Bill Belichick has, gushed over Garoppolo, and he doesn't really do that. I mean, Garoppolo's 6'3". He's got a great arm. He's got great legs. He's athletic. He's shown that. I mean, every time he stepped on the NFL field, he's looked damn good. In college, he was good. I mean, he threw 53 touchdowns and had a 65% completion. This guy is, he's been mentored and coached up by Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, and Tom Brady, all three. So this guy has everything going for him. And Bill Belichick, saying all those things about Garoppolo, I'm not so sure they're so willing to let him go. Now, they would if someone wants to trade the farm for him. And I don't know if the Browns will, because Hugh Jackson doesn't seem like he would do that. So I would say the 49ers, Bears, or Jets. I could see the Jets overpaying for him. But at the same time, that's their division rival, so I don't think that's going to happen. So it comes down to 49ers and Bears, and I think he ends up at the 49ers. And I think that'd be a good fit for him as long as Kyle Shanahan could get him some receivers. So I think Garoppolo ends up with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. Maybe at the end of the season. This next season. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see how Bill Belichick handles it because we already know he loves draft picks. So we'll see.
So Garoppolo. We'll see where he ends up. Now, Terrell Owens.
Ooh, this is
the Hall of Fame inductees were announced, the finalists who will be getting to this year's Hall of Fame. And once again, Terrell Owens was left out of it. Do you think he was snubbed? And what do you think of the process of, what are these guys thinking? I think he was absolutely snubbed. What do you think?
I already know Teal probably cried for 30 minutes when he got snubbed. He really wanted to go on the.
I'm sure there's some holes as well.
I think he definitely deserves to be in there. He did get snubbed. I'm not surprised he didn't because he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. And there's still people involved in this process. So there's people that vote. And we've seen this happen before. We've seen players that should be in there already that take them 5-6 years to finally vote them in. And it sucks. I don't understand it half the time. But, I'm not surprised. Does he deserve it? Yeah, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's like number 3 on every receiving chart out there. So, and he produced numbers. Even with his attitude, he still put up numbers. He still produced. So, I definitely do think he deserves it, and he did get robbed.
Honestly. I think the Hall of Fame committee, the writers who vote on this, are absolute hypocrites and should be ashamed of themselves, and it's an absolute embarrassment. There are guys who did steroids. There are guys who raped women, who beat women, who are murderers, who are in the Hall of Fame. Yep. Terrell Owens was never in trouble outside of the field. Yeah. Everything that he was in trouble for were things that the writers didn't like. The guys that people in the media, they got rubbed in the wrong way. But at the same time, they were right there covering him, right? Making money off of him, writing about him, going on, Sports Center or whatever, and, talking about him and getting views. So they were sure as hell willing to make money off of him. But at the same time, they're like, oh, but T.O., you shouldn't act like that. Fuck that. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler. 5-time first All-Pro team, 3-time receiving touchdown leader in 2001, 2002, and 2006. He's in NFL's All-Decade team of the 2000s. He has 1,078 receptions, for 15,934 yards and 153 touchdowns. This dude was one of the greatest receivers of all time, and these guys who snubbed him are absolute hypocrites. They're full of shit. This is them trying to put T.O. in a timeout because they felt that no one was able to control him, and so here they're going to try to do that, and that's bullshit because they pick and choose on who they choose to do that to. And, Terrell Owens, they say there's a lot of about writers and people in the media that say that they wish that athletes were more honest, right? They always give a lot of athletes give the same lines, after a game, before a game, whatever. They want players to be more honest, and T.O. is that. And people hate that shit, but at the same time they want that shit, and it's just like you can't win with that. But none of that should matter when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Like, what did you do in your career? And because T.O. was not only one of the greatest receivers of all time, one of the greatest NFL players of all time, he was one of the funnest. Do you remember all those touchdown celebrations he used to come up with? Those are fun, except for the one with the Dallas, where he put it on the star. Yeah, that was fucked up.
He went a little too far on that one. I personally did not like that.
T.O. is a Hall of Famer, and he better get in next year. They better not let him wait 6 more years like they did with Chris Carter. They didn't let him in for 6 years. Yeah. Hopefully they don't do that with T.O., but that's what I think of the Hall of Fame writers who induct these guys. They're hypocrites, and they're full of shit, and T.O. deserves to be in there.
Assholes.
Now, Michael Vick.
Yep.
He just retired after 13 seasons. What do you think about Michael Vick and of his career? And do you think he will one day be in the Hall of Fame?
Michael Vick, man, the human highlight reel.
Now let me say this, real quick.
Yeah.
4-time Pro Bowler.
Yep.
He's won NFL Comeback Player of the Year back in 2010, when we thought we'd saw the last of him. Yep. He's had 133 touchdowns, 88 interceptions. He has 22,464 yards, and he has 2 rushing records as a quarterback, 6,109 yards total. And in one season, he had 1,039. So he's got 2 records, and he's got 36 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
So that's his resume. What do you think?
Vic, it sucks to see him go, man. That guy, I remember everybody used to use him in Madden as I was growing up, and it was such a cheat to have Michael Vick in Madden.
He was one of the funnest ever in a video game.
He looked like a video game in real life. Yeah. Like when he used to just run by people.
Do you remember that commercial where they had him, like the Michael Vick experience, where where you get to they put you in this strap, right? And you get to it was like a roller coaster ride, right? It was this really cool commercial, and you were sitting in this roller coaster type deal, and they strap you in, and then they push you out into the field, and they move you all around, and in the same speed and agility like Michael Vick, because that's what he was like. He was like a video game character. The way he moved, the way he juked out NFL players was ridiculous.
He was a human highlight reel, and it sucks that when all that happened with him going to jail and all that, prison or whatever, it cut away some prime years, man, and it sucked to see that happen.
He was stupid for doing that, yeah.
Yeah, so it sucks. Now, I think that's going to put a little tarnish on him. Holy shit. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Bless me. Shit. What was I saying? It's going to put a little tarnish on him on that regard. I'm not sure if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. It doesn't feel like he's done enough with his teams. If he would have not gone to prison, he probably would have. But I don't think he's got enough. No
Super Bowl rings. No, not a whole lot of playoff wins.
Yeah.
And then a major, legit controversy of him off the field. I mean, animal cruelty. He's not getting into the Hall of Fame. Even if he had the numbers, that were just astonishing, like T.O., as a quarterback, I still don't think he would get in because of the animal cruelty charges that he had.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him in for that. I don't think so.
It sucks that he got involved in that crowd.
Yeah.
Because he was such a great talent. Oh, my God. When he was playing, it was phenomenal.
So, Michael Vick, you were fun to watch with the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
And 13 seasons later, peace out, Michael Vick. The human highlight reel. Carmelo Anthony, New York Knicks. the ongoing trade talks.
Oh my goodness.
Now, this past week there was rumors that LeBron James was pushing for a Kevin Love for Carmelo trade, and I think the Cleveland Cavaliers even tried to look into that, right? And that fell through because I don't think the Knicks wanted to do that, or the Cavs didn't want to do that.
No, the Cavs didn't want to do it.
Yeah, the Cavs didn't want to do that. Now, my question is, why not? Why not trade Kevin Love for Carmelo Anthony? Because if you're the Knicks,
you got to
look what they're fucking going through. Just cut ties with him, man. You want to cut ties with him. He wants to go to specific places, right? And Cleveland Cavaliers would be one of those places. Definitely. And LeBron obviously is wanting a player like that on his roster.
Yep.
Why not? Why not do this trade?
There's really no reason,
right?
I actually put why not right here. I put why not on my notes because there's the reason not to. Like, Cleveland wants a playmaker. Kevin Love, don't get me wrong, he puts up good numbers. He has stretches where he does great things, but he's not a playmaker. He stands in the corner and takes jump shots most of the time. He can't handle the ball, and that's what LeBron wants. LeBron wants, when he goes off the court, to have someone else, besides Kyrie Irving, to be able to handle the ball and take that pressure on and take on that responsibility. Because besides Kyrie and LeBron, there's not really anybody else on that court that can handle the ball like that. No. And LeBron's playing so many minutes right now. It's ridiculous. So why not? They need to do something because they're not going to be able to beat Golden State with the team they have. Exactly. And Knicks need to unload them. So, why? Like you said, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe they're thinking of Kyrie Irving because when Carmelo gets the ball, everything slows down. Everything stops, right? And that's something that maybe LeBron does want. Because as you said, he plays all these minutes, and that would be really good if somebody has the ball in their hands and everything just slows down, and he's just sitting there like catching a breather, and he's at ease that the guy who's slowing down the game is Carmelo Anthony, one of the greatest scorers of all time, right?
Yeah.
So my only guess would be that either the Cavs wanted too much, or I don't know what their thinking was. They should make this trade, and okay. So if this trade doesn't go through, like, what is going to go on with Melo? Because I just can't imagine him being there after the All-Star break, because it is a debacle over there in New York.
I don't see any other teams really going after Carmelo. Who wants to take on that kind of the drama? Really, there's not another team out there that will take him on.
I think they want this. I think everybody in New York wants this. I think Melo likes the drama.
Yeah, New York wants to see him gone. I'm talking about any other team besides Cavs willing to take him on, because I don't see any other teams.
The Knicks are a bunch of drama queens.
Yeah, exactly.
Melo, I think, he likes the drama. Phil Jackson certainly shows he likes the drama. I mean, this week there was this article that came out criticizing Carmelo Anthony, and Phil Jackson tweeted out, endorsing it. This article that criticized his best player, referring to Carmelo Anthony as a leopard, saying that spots on a leopard, you can't change them. And so I think they're just so fucking terrible, the New York Knicks. They're an embarrassment. Any Knicks fans
Phil Jackson
out there?
Needs to step down. Phil Jackson's not a good
Knicks fans. I don't know what happened to our organizations, man. Like the Bulls and the Knicks, we were the shit back in the 90s. It was, it always came down to us. And then, our owners are fucking us over. I don't know what's going to happen. Carmelo needs to get traded. I think Carmelo for Love is a fair trade. It just relieves everybody. And Melo does not. I cannot see him being there past the All-Star break unless this is what they want. They want to inflict this pain and drama onto themselves. And maybe they get off on that shit. I don't know. Now, speaking of drama. DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins was called for his 16th technical foul and was suspended on Wednesday's game against the Celtics. And from now on for the rest of the season, we're not even halfway through, we're not even at the All-Star break, every 2 technical fouls, he's going to get suspended.
Yep.
What needs to happen with Boogie Cousins? Because this guy is out of control. He pushed an assistant Bulls coach. I don't remember seeing a player like touching a coach like that. He just shoved his arm and got called for a technical. What needs to happen with DeMarcus Cousins?
They need to do something. Honestly,
should he even be there?
Sacramento's GM, he came out and said, because there's rumors about him being traded, and the GM said, we don't want to trade Cousins. We want him here for a long time. But if you're committing to him for a long time, then do something about his issues. Like, give him some kind of support.
Put some structure in his life.
Exactly. Give him something like more structured, like you said, more firm, and help him. He's a big hothead. He's got a lot of emotions.
And
so everything help him out.
And everything about the Kings organization is chaos. You never know what the hell they're going to do. Never. No. With their head coaching decisions, their players, you never know what's going to happen. The best thing for Cousins would be to leave. He should go.
Franchise that can actually help him.
Yeah, he needs to go to a team like he needs to go maybe to San Antonio Spurs, because how many teams out there?
You're going to say that.
Trade fucking Aldridge for Cousins. I'll take that shit. I'll take that hothead, because you know what? As big of a hothead he is, I doubt he's got balls big enough to fucking go toe to toe with Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich would kick his ass.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. Nobody would. That's the thing about Pop. He's got that respect.
Yeah.
Now, I think San Antonio will be a good spot because of structure. Dallas.
Because I'm just thinking, who
can
really give him that?
Coaches.
Who can really?
The Clippers. Clippers might be one. I'm looking at coaching, right? A good, strong coach. Doc Rivers, Rick Carlisle, Greg Popovich. Those three guys are probably some of the strongest, minded coaches that are real firm and
Miami Heat
know how to control their players. So,
DeMarcus Cousins, guys,
he needs to go somewhere different. But Kings, do I think they'll let him go? I don't know.
Hear me out.
They're stubborn.
You're trapping Cousins in your shitty organization, and he's doing no good there. He is a nuisance over there. Cut ties with him. Give him to a franchise who can actually make something, take his career to another level, and and make him a better, more mature man. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to dealer's choice. Sean, the floor is yours. What is your topic you want to talk about that we haven't discussed already?
Well, this one just came out, and I want to talk about it. The whole Deion Sanders calling out the Colts and Tony Dungy for apparently stealing signals.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
Because Deion Sanders is an idiot. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't care. He was a great player, but he is an idiot. Because I think he got a little defensive, because I think LT was just talking about how, the Patriots, their legacy is still going to be a little tarnished because of Spygate. And he got all defensive and was like, oh, well, the Colts, they were stealing signals all the time.
How do you do that?
Apparently watching the coaches, I guess, or hearing the quarterbacks make their calls or whatever. But I don't understand that, because every team does that. Every team looks at what did he say? What did they do? Okay, so that meant cover two.
Is it illegal?
Or, that meant a slant route, or that meant a run play to the left. Every team does that.
It's not illegal, is it?
No, it's not illegal. That's not illegal at all. Every team, even Tony Dungy came out and said, yeah, everybody does that. But if Deion Sanders was smart enough, he would know that that's why quarterbacks and coaches and all of those players that make those calls with signals change it up pretty much every week. Because of that, if you interview any quarterback in the league, they'll be like, hey, what does Omaha, Peyton Manning, what does Omaha mean? He's like, well, it's different every week. Because I'm not going to let that middle linebacker pick up on what we do. That Deion Sanders, shut up. Why are you trying to defend the Patriots right there? All LT was saying is that it's a little tarnished because of Spygate, which is very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be in that conversation, well, they did cheat that one time. Yeah, it's not like LT was wrong for saying that.
Yeah.
So Deion Sanders, he's an idiot sometimes. He doesn't even know what the hell he's saying.
He's one of the worst analysts out there. I can't stand him.
I can't either. I don't even like to watch NFL Network when he's on. So That's the only thing I wanted to bring up because it dumbfounded me that he even made a story about that.
Yeah, that sounds like he was reaching there.
Yeah, a little.
All right. So here's what I got. All right.
Yeah.
I found this particular little story interesting. So during the CBA negotiations, a lot of the owners sat down for dinner, right? And this included Michael Jordan and the Golden State Warriors owner. What's his name? Joe Lacob, right? And they were sitting down at dinner, and Michael Jordan, in his Jordan way, leans over to the Warriors owner and says, 73 wins don't mean shit, right?
No, he did not.
He says that to the Golden State Warriors owner. 73 wins, don't mean shit because they didn't win the championship, right? And they blew a 3-1 lead. So the owner said that he looked over at him and he was just like, yeah, he said that. Michael Jordan said that, and all I could say was, you're right. It doesn't mean anything if you don't win, and we got to get better. And that's all he said to him. And he said in a radio interview that his feelings were hurt by Michael Jordan saying that. And I think that's hilarious because anybody who knows anything about Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest trash talkers of all times.
He's an asshole.
And he's an asshole. He's one of the biggest jerks of all time. Michael Jordan.
I did not know that.
Michael Jordan will tell you to your face that you're not shit. And I mean, this guy has kicked out people out of his parties for wearing like rival brand shoes. That's the kind of guy Michael Jordan is. Yep. Michael Jordan's the kind of guy who will invite somebody at his Hall of Fame induction speech and say, "Hey, you cut me one time from a team, and I want to say, look where I'm at." That's how petty he is. And I thought that was hilarious. And the Golden State Warriors owner, having said that his feelings were hurt, is even more funny because they blew a 3-1 lead. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They lost the championship, the back-to-back, and then he gets Michael Jordan saying, "You ain't shit." That's hilarious to me.
That's hilarious. I did not see that, but that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Michael Jordan.
Oh, man.
He's a class act.
That's not the words I'd use, but yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Call out, shout out. Sean, this is where we call out and shout out people who deserve it of this past week. Who are you calling out?
Well, my call out is going to go to NRG Stadium personnel. Where this is where the Patriots just won the Super Bowl this past Sunday. I wanted to call them out because even though there's a little talk about it, a little controversy, right after the James White touchdown in overtime, that they're like they shot out the confetti. Pretty much everybody ran on the field, but it was never. They hadn't even confirmed the touchdown yet, and luckily they confirmed it. Not really confirmed. They just said that they didn't have enough proof to really overturn it. But there was still some angles that showed he might not have got in. Yeah. I don't understand why they all of a sudden just shot out the confetti. Like, we all know every scoring play is under review. So I just want to throw this out there. What if they would have came back and said, "Oh, actually, he was down before he got in"?
What would happen?
What would have happened? Because you had that whole field was covered in confetti. It's going to take you. There's no way you can play on that confetti. There's no way.
It would take a long time for them to clear that field.
At least
that end.
2 hours. At least 2 hours. But you would have to clear the whole field because what if they could get a pick? Or a fumble?
Oh, yeah.
You can't leave one spot on the field uncovered.
Yeah, true.
Or covered up. So I just want to call them out for that because even though it didn't come back to bite them in the ass, that could have been a huge fuck up. That could have been like a whole 2 hour delay in the Super Bowl. Because they couldn't have ended the game. They couldn't. It's not like they'd be like, "Well, because there's confetti, we're just going to give it to the Patriots." So I just want to call out the NRG Stadium. They're lucky, because we all know
what
that could have been. Well, I was going to say that could have been a whole changing point, just like the delay in the San Francisco 49ers game, the Super Bowl, Baltimore and 49ers, even the Cubs, the rain delay. Those kind of things can change a whole dynamic of a game. And so I just want to call them out. Just want to throw that out there.
All right, here's what I'm calling out. I'm calling out the Atlanta Falcons. Not because they lost the Super Bowl.
No?
Not because they blew a 25-point lead. Not because they didn't run the damn ball to run out the clock in the second half.
What are you calling out?
I'm calling them out because they're going to replace their defensive coordinator. They're going to replace him, and I have no idea why. This defense is proven to be very talented, and
they got
have
better
taken
and better.
a huge stride this season. They have some great. They drafted some great rookies. I have no idea why they're firing their defensive coordinator, why they're replacing him. Because was it his fault that you guys didn't run the ball and run out the clock against the Patriots? Was he the one that blew a 25-point lead? You guys,
I feel like they're just reaching for someone to blame at that point.
So I just think, with Kyle Shanahan leaving, they had to blame somebody. And they're blaming the defensive coordinator, and I don't think that was the right decision. And I hope the Atlanta Falcons don't regret this and move backwards as organizations, making some more dumb decisions like they used to make back in the day. So that's why I'm calling out the Atlanta Falcons. Sean, who are you shouting out?
My shout-out's going to go to my boy Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowboys.
Jesus Christ, you can't stop talking about
I can't, and I'm going to talk about him forever. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is a shock to me. Both of us. We both picked Ezekiel Elliott. But he should have. But we already know quarterbacks are put on a pedestal, so he won it. But what he did, he took Zeke up there with him, and he was really humble about it. He said he wanted to split the award with Zeke. Obviously, he gave a lot of credit to the offensive line. I just want to give him – he's been a class act all year, and I've said it multiple times, but – this guy's maturity is on another level. For a rookie, we haven't seen that kind of maturity. And how he's handled the spotlight. It's not easy. Like, let's get real here. I'm not just saying it, but Dallas Cowboys is a huge spotlight for a lot of players. And a lot of players can't handle that. The scrutiny, the criticism, the success. And so he's handled it really well all year. And, from the Romo shit all the way to winning the offensive rookie when he shouldn't have. So he knows where the credit's due. And so I want to give him a shout out for that. Respect.
Cool. I'm shouting out Anthony Rizzo because he did something pretty damn good this past week. There was this 12-year-old kid who was a 7th grader out there in Illinois who was bullied. Apparently he bumped into another kid, and this kid beat him pretty bad. Like, he's in the hospital right now, and he had breathing tubes, shoved down him. It was really bad, and he's a huge Cubs fan, right? And his whole school, his classmates and stuff like that, they wore a bunch of Cubs things because he was a huge Cubs fan, wearing Cubs shirts and stuff, showing their support. Anthony Rizzo heard about this, and he stepped in, and he says that he is going to meet the boy, and he's going to invite him during the season to come to a batting practice, and to a game to come watch the Cubs play. And I think that's really cool of Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo's a great guy. He's really involved with this community, so that's pretty good. And I also want to make a quick shout out real quick to and mention Mike Adamle. Mike Adamle was a former NFL player. He was a running back, he's probably more well known for being the host of the American Gladiator show back in the late 80s, 90s. And he was also once an announcer and TV personality for the WWE. And a lot of WWE fans used to make fun of him because he would say names wrong. He would mispronounce things. His mind would kind of wander or whatever. Yeah. Well, he was just diagnosed this past week with dementia, and they're saying that he probably has severe CTE. So that is one of the worst things you can be diagnosed with. It's a terrible, terrible disease. There's no cure for it. It's going to all go down from here. Mike Adamle. So shout out Mike Adamle, and just, hope for the best.
Yeah.
All right. So what to watch, Sean? Let everybody know what to watch this next week. What?
I think it's pretty simple. The Walking Dead. It's coming back.
It's coming back. I got to catch up.
Yes, you do, because I have no one to talk to about it since you're not caught up. it's awesome because football's over now. No more Sundays of football. Tear, right? I want to cry right now. But The Walking Dead's back, so there's something we could do on Sundays is watch The Walking Dead. But also coming out Friday is John Wick 2. And I'm not sure if any of y'all have seen John Wick. I finally got Josh to watch it, the first one. And the second one's coming out. Oh, I love the first one. It was great. Great action. Very, all the action is very, thought out. And it's not like that fake action. It's really thought out. It's really great sequences. And it's phenomenal. So I definitely want to go watch that Friday.
All right.
Back to you, Josh. What's going on?
Here's what to watch. Sports-wise, be sure to watch the Warriors heading down to Oklahoma City. The return of KD to Oklahoma. Warriors take on the Thunder on Saturday. Check that out. My movie recommendations coming out this weekend. Sean mentioned John Wick 2. Also go check out Lego Batman. Batman, this movie's coming out. If you've seen the first Lego movie, that was so awesome. Batman was hilarious in that movie. I can't wait to watch a whole movie about him. So go check that out. And I also recommend you do not go watch the 50 Shades Darker movie. I don't care what your fucking wife or girlfriend says. Don't go fucking waste your money on that shit. It's a scam. It's a money scam. Don't go give them your money. Don't see that. And that's what I say about what to watch or not watch this next week.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All right, that's it, Sean. That's everything. That's all we have to discuss for this past week. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you did, let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you agree with us, disagree with us, and your thoughts. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Yeah. And we'll see you next week, Sean.
Later.